means that much of the work that he does when he gets close up with that rondelle is done entirely by feel. Yeah. You can't count on your eyes because often you cannot see your opponent when you get that close to them. So you have to be able to know where they are by attaching yourself to their body and feeling their motion. Andrew, retire the field. Thank you again. Now we are going to see a demonstration of 3 distinct styles. Good. Now, I understand that some Cameron Highlanders are in the audience. Can you make yourselves known?
In the Van Do. Anybody else here in the Army? Well, Sylvanus, oh, okay, we got you. All right.
Sir Greg is also a member of the Highlanders. Gentlemen, we salute. Right. And so does everybody else. So, you're going to see a distinct set of 3 different fighting styles here. Ben and Sir Greg are going to start with sword and shield. They are going to move to arming sword. And they're going to do a number of moves from a historical manual by a gentleman named Fiore. And they will end up with a demonstration of medieval wrestling. All knights were trained in wrestling.
Most noble and honorable opponent.
Now we tend to think of martial arts as primarily Eastern. There is an entire field of Western martial arts, of which these are some of them. And they are now experiencing, ironically, a renaissance, with multiple schools in different arts right across the world. Oh! Okay, oh my goodness. Ben, would you mind turning towards me? Now, thankfully this did not go into Ben, it's just caught in his armor. But if this happens to you on the battlefield, you're allowed to go home. It's officially a bad day.
Long swords.
Sword boy!
Really cool.
Andrew, off the field.
Hey, I got it.
Now, if you look at the gauntlets that Sir Greg is wearing, gauntlets were one of the hardest pieces of armor to engineer because you want the maximum stability and the maximum protection, because these are all easily breakable small bones. So you have a series of lames protecting the fingers, you've got a raised knuckle guard, and you've got articulation in the wrist. If anyone is old enough to remember the old Bugs Bunny cartoons where they start a fight by slapping someone with a glove, that's the sort of glove you would have slapped them with. And you wonder why the fight started. Gentlemen.
At your ready, fighters, please. Lay on.
Now when you watch these two, what you're going to be looking for is something called a beat. When they come together. Hold.
Check my visor.
On your knees, peasants, before the king!
One more pass, gentlemen. Now, you'll see that they are gripping the sword. This is called a half-sword technique. It allows the fighter to use the sword like a shortened spear to find the holes in the opponent's armor, and shortly thereafter add holes to the opponent. There's Sir Greg with the pommel. He goes for the takedown. Hold right in the back of the neck.
Helmets. Players, get their helmets, please.
Sword boy. Come back for the gauntlets. Now, in medieval wrestling, what you are going to see is what we consider a safe version of it. If you were doing this for real, with the intent of not being someone's friend afterwards, you would see hand strikes, pressure point strikes, extensive use of the hands and the elbows. If you look at what they are wearing on those elbows, we have a return to summer teeth. Because it will hurt.
All right. Gentlemen.
Ready?
One final pass. Ready? Lay on.
Now, both fighters are armed with Kinjals. Hold! Hold!
Hold! Break! Back!
Both of them were killed simultaneously.
No, we got it. One more. We're done.
He was actually in the back of his head.
Oh. Tell you what, one on
He was like that pineapple earlier.
All right, one final pass, gentlemen. Boys and ladies, these two flying fighters are going to go bare knuckles against all that. Woo! Gentlemen, lay on.
So Sir Greg has gotten above his opponent's head, which gives him a leverage advantage. Sir Ben is going to try and sweep the leg. He doesn't get the leg sweep. Sir Greg is on top of him, and he's got an arm bar. If he pushes that arm bar any more than he had it there, it would sound like chicken being dismembered. Well done, gentlemen. Well done.
Thank you.
Next two fighters, Danger Stan and Tracy, return to the field.
That was brilliant, Ben. All right. Fighters.
Now, what do you think it means to be armed? To be armed does not mean that you have a weapon. To be armed means that we're in a suit of armor. If you are in a suit of armor, if you are armed and you need a weapon, you can get a weapon. There will be plenty around for you to take. Fighters at the ready.
Fighters, salute you most noble and honorable one. Take your ready. Lay on.
Now they're stalking, looking for position. Tracy is using his shield very well.
Great. Perfect thrust. Come this way, please, if you would, fighters. That's good. Fighters, that you're ready? Lay on.
Feeling each other out, looking for weaknesses. Nice. Dan used his buckler to redirect Tracy's sword right to the ground. Oh! That was the meaty part of the calf. Typically, it's very difficult to armor the backs of the knees. Any part that has an extreme bend in the body is very difficult to armor.
They call for one more pass.
Then let them go.
Lay on.
I love that sound of sword on armor. Now that beautiful strike came overhead, glanced off the helmet, was caught by the male and the curious. So while it looks great and sounds great, no one's actually hurt.
Oh! Wide open. Almost under the
Yeah.
All right, fighters. Retire the
Field.
Who is next?
Now, the rusted Ravager and the dangerous dad return to the field. So, if you look what Andrew has in his hands, double axes. If you've ever wondered what we'd like to do 8 rounds with a Moulin X Magi blender, you are about to see it. As these fighters are about to hit frappe.
Quick shot. Fighters! Ready? Lay on!
Now, in reality, those axes that Andrew is wielding would have weighed anywhere between 1.5 and 2 pounds, about the same weight as a claw hammer in the basement. An axe like that would be capable of crushing through a helmet. Oh!
Here and Obi-Wan.
Mark, come on.
Well, everybody's tired of it.
Ready? Lay on!
Now you'll see that those axes are in the form of boarding axes. So you'll see that they have 2 distinct striking surfaces. Andrew is using the broad cutting surface, which is still more than enough to cut through a tree, cut through kindlings, and crush a helmet. In the event that he wants to be extremely unfair to his opponent, he will turn them around and use the piercing points on the other end, which will punch right through armor on a strong hit.
Lay on!
Now, if you were using full axes, he would not be quite so fast. Hold.